Alrighty, so we are continuing on with area. Remember what I told you all, that we're doing a quiz 11.1 to 11.4, but then we're going to have a full unit test at the end. So this whole unit's about area. So every lesson we learn, we're going to learn new area formulas. So my advice to you is start making a running log of all the formulas, because that's what you need to know. That's so you know what you need to memorize. Right, so if I were you, I'd make a running log of all the formulas on one sheet.
We only did rectangle and triangle so far, right?
No, we did rectangle, square, parallelograms, and triangles.
I agree.
All right, let's talk about area of a trapezoid. To find the area of a trapezoid, now be very careful when you write this formula down, because every year students write the formula down wrong the first time, and then they study it wrong, and then they get it wrong all on their quizzes and their tests. So this is half the height, open parentheses, base 1 plus base 2, close your parentheses. A lot of students do half height and then base 1 times base 2. No. Base 1 plus base 2. So just make sure you're writing down the formula correctly. Half the height times the sum of the bases. I'll zoom it really big for you so nobody messes this one. Half height times the sum of the bases. We all got this? Okay. The median of a trapezoid. The line segment joining the midpoints of the non-parallel sides of a trapezoid is called the median of the trapezoid. We're not going to prove any of this. Don't worry about it.
Oh, it's a paragraph. Oh.
All right, how do we find the median of a trapezoid? The median of the trapezoid is going to be half parentheses base 1 plus base 2. I write this a little bit neater. There we go. I'll zoom in for you. The formula for the median, the formula for the measure of the median is very similar to what other formula we just saw? The area of a what? Trapezoid. What's the only difference? The trapezoid has what in it that the median doesn't? The height. So let's say I told you the median of a trapezoid. We can find the area by doing the median times the height. All right, let's do some problems. Given trapezoid WXYZ, the height is 7, the lower base is 18, and the upper base is 12. Find the area. Well, we know the formula for area of a trapezoid is going to be half the height, open your parentheses, base 1 plus, not times, plus base 2, close your parentheses. And this problem was really nice. Don't expect me to be this generous on your quiz or test. I've given you the height. How do we know a height? It has to make a altitude right angle. Exactly. It has to make a right angle. If you have a right angle, that is the height. So I know the area of this trapezoid is going to be half. The height is 7. All right. One base is 12. The other base is 18. So now I'm going to simplify what's in my parentheses first, since I can. 12 plus 18 is 30. So now I keep sort of talking about this strategy that I use, right? This is all multiplication now. No more plus signs. Do we agree? No more plus signs. So it's half times 7 times 30. Isn't multiplication commutative, meaning you can multiply in any order? So instead of doing half of 7 and get 3 and a 3.5, which is not nice because it's a decimal, I'm going to do half of 30, half times 30, because that's an even number. So when I decide to multiply in a different order, I'm going to do half times 30 is 15. So now we're left with 7 times 15, which is 105 units squared.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Can I move on? Okay. Find the shorter base of a trapezoid. If the trapezoid's area is 52, its altitude is 8, and its longer base is 10. All right, so now they're giving us information. We want to find the shorter base, which I called x, but they're telling us the area of this trapezoid is 52. The minute I see area and I see trapezoid written down, I write down the area formula of a trapezoid. Area equals half the height, open our parentheses, base 1 plus base 2. Now that 52 is going in for which variable? A. That 52 is going in for A. So 52 will equal half. Do we all agree our height is 8 because of the right angle? So our height is 8. And then my upper base is x, and what's my lower base? 10. Right. Can I simplify x plus 10? Can I simplify those parentheses? No, I can't make that 10x because it's not x times 10. It's x plus 10, so there's nothing I can simplify in there. But can I multiply a half and 8? Absolutely. What's half of 8? 4. So now we are 52 equals 4 times the quantity of x plus 10. Good. Now this isn't multiplying because of the plus sign. It's saying I'm not only, well, it is multiplying, but it's because of the plus sign, I'm not only multiplying the 4 and the x. I have to distribute that 4 to the x and the 4 to the 10. So now we have 52 is equal to 4x plus 40. What else could I have done? So Sam had to distribute it in, which was a great strategy. Does anybody know what else I could have done with that 4? If I didn't want to, Julia? You could have divided it on both sides. Either way, we're going to get the same answer. So now we're going to solve. So I'm going to subtract 40 on both sides. I'll bring it up here. So now we have 12 is equal to 4x. So x is equal to 3. So our upper base is 3 units long. All right, let's keep going. Anybody still copying this? All right, the height of the trapezoid, something I want to point out to you. You guys see this, how it's standing nice and tall and straight? That's showing the height, even though I didn't make a right angle. So when you see something like this, it's telling you that's the height. Now, if I were to draw something like this, where it's not standing nice and tall and straight, let's say I drew the 12 like this. That would not mean the height is 12. That means that segment length is 12. Do we see the difference between being tall, that's going to represent the height, me slanting it means that segment length is just 12. Any questions on that? Because you'll see that in the textbook. You might see it on the quiz. I'm not sure. All right, so they're saying the height of the trapezoid is 8. The bases are 6 and 14. Find the median. So remember, the median is equal to half, open your parentheses, base 1 plus base 2. And the median, if you all remember, is the segment that connects the midpoints of the two legs. That's the median. So we're going to say the median is equal to half. Base 1 is 14, base 2 is 6. Can I add what's in those parentheses? Yeah, 14 plus 6 is 20. So what am I going to do? Half of 20 is 10. You could have, and then you would have done 7 plus 3. All right, so now that my median is 10, that was part A. I want to find the area. Well, since I already have the median, shouldn't I use the median formula for the area? And that was area equals median times the height. So area is equal to the median, which is 10. And what did we say the height was? 12. So the area is 120 units squared. Can I keep going? The consecutive sides of an isosceles trapezoid are in the ratio of 2 to 5 to 10 to 5. And the trapezoid's perimeter is 44. Find the area of the trapezoid. All right, first thing I want to do is draw a trapezoid. And this is not just any trapezoid. It says it is an isosceles trapezoid. What does it mean if it's isosceles? The legs are congruent. And then they're saying not the side lengths. They're saying the sides are in a ratio of 2 to 5 to 10 to 5. The minute I take numbers out of a ratio, what do I have to put with them? An x. Good. Then the minute you take numbers out of a ratio, you need to put an x in it. Do we agree the 2 5 should be for the legs? Right? Since it's an isosceles trapezoid, they have to be the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2x on top, 5x for one leg. Look how I mark it. 10x for the bottom base and 5x for the other leg. Since it's isosceles, the legs have to be congruent. Then it says the trapezoid's perimeter is 44. Why is that important to us right now, that the trapezoid's perimeter is 44 when they're asking us for the area? Maya? Good. Before we can find the area, we need to find the side lengths. So we're going to use the perimeter to find the side lengths. Do we all agree we have 5x plus 5x plus 10x plus 2x equals 44? So this is going to be 22x is equal to 44. So x is equal to 2. So that means this is 10, this is 10, this is 20, and this is 4. Right. Now that we know the side lengths, I'm going to write out the formula for area of a trapezoid. Area of a trapezoid is half the height times, open your parentheses, base 1 plus base 2, close your parenthesis. Do I have base 1? Yes. Do I have base 2? Yes. Do I have a height? No. Why is the height not 10? It's slanted. How do you know a height? It has to make what? A right angle. It has to make a right angle. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to draw one altitude. But when I draw one altitude, does that help me be able to find the height? No. So guess what I'm going to do now? Draw another altitude. Because by me drawing the other altitude, what have I now created? Not a square. What's in the middle? Not a square, a rectangle. And what about the two triangles? They're both congruent because the legs are congruent. So now, if there's 4 units on top, do we agree there's 4 units on the bottom? Because the rectangle opposite sides are congruent. So now I have 20 minus 4. What's 20 minus 4? 16. What does that mean for each base of the triangle? 8, and 8. Now, we have an 8 and a 10. This is a triple times 2. Does anybody know the missing side? 6, because it's a 3, 4, 5 times 2. Do we now have the height? Yes. So now let's plug in. Area is equal to half. The height is 6. Base 1, I'll put as my upper base is 4. What's my lower base? Not 10. Be careful. 20. My lower base is 20. Can I add 4 and 20? Absolutely. So the area is going to be half times 6 times 24. I'm going to choose to do half of 24. Half of 24 is 12. 12 times 6 is 72 units squared. All right, that's 11.3. Are we ready for 11.4? Yes, we are. All right, 11.4, area of a kite. Area of a kite is half D1 times D2. Not plus, times. What do you think D1 and D2 represent? D1 is diagonal 1, and D2 is diagonal 2. Nope, does not matter which one's diagonal 1 and which one's diagonal 2. All right, so that's the area of a kite. Area of a rhombus. Now let's think back to chapter 5. A rhombus was always what? Other figure. A rhombus was always what? It was a subcategory. You're right. That was like the outlier. We'll get there. But like mainly speaking, it was a subcategory of which main one? Parallelogram. A rhombus was always a parallelogram. So the parallelogram formula applies to the rhombus. So area of a rhombus is base times height, where B is the base, H is the height. But Simon, you also told us, guys, remember there was also another weird connection here between the rhombus and, as Simon told us, the kite. Remember, everything the kite can do, the rhombus can do better. So the rhombus was always a kite since it had all the properties of a kite. Since a rhombus is always a kite, do you think the formula for kite will also apply to the rhombus? Yeah. Yes. So the other formula for rhombus is half D1 D2. So based on the information I give you, that you're going to have to decide which formula to use. D1 is diagonal 1. D2 is diagonal 2. All right, let's do some problems. Are we ready? Okay. The perimeter of a rhombus is 52. One diagonal is 24. Find the area of a rhombus. Okay. The perimeter is 52. Well, what do we know about all the sides of a rhombus? In a rhombus, all sides are congruent. So to find one side, isn't it going to be 52 divided by 4? So that is 13. Then they're saying one diagonal is 24. Find the area. Well, we have to remember, in a rhombus, don't the diagonals bisect each other? So if one diagonal is 24, each part of it has to be 12. Now, One more thing we should remember. What do we know? What else about the diagonals of a rhombus? Julia? They're perpendicular, so there's 4 right angles here. This is huge. Why is this huge? Pick one triangle. We have a 12. The hypotenuse is 13. What is this? Something 12, 13. 5, 12, 13. Good. It is a triple. So if this is 5, is the other part of the diagonal also 5 since they bisect each other? All right, so now I have to decide which formula I'm going to use. We have 2 options. We have area equals base times height, or area equals half d1 times d2. Do we have a base? Yeah. Do I have a height, though? How come the height is not 13? Because there's no what? Right angle. All right, let's go to the other one. Half d1, d2. Do I have diagonals? Yeah, do I have both diagonals? Absolutely. So which one's the winner here to use? Half d1, d2, since I have both diagonals. So area is going to equal half d1 times d2. Now, guys, remember, a diagonal has to go from vertex to vertex, corner to corner. So my diagonal is not 5. What is my whole diagonal? 10. What's my other diagonal? I heard it. 24. So I'm going to do half of 24 is 12. 10 times 12 is 120 units squared. Can I go on to number 2? All right, find the area of each kite. All right, kite only has one formula, half d1 times d2. All right, the yellow is one full diagonal. The green is another full diagonal. Does it matter which one's d1 and which one's d2? No. So d1 is not 4. It's 4 plus 4, which is 8. What's d2? I heard it. 14. Half of 14 is 7. 7 times 8 is 56 units squared. You want me to go up to which one? You're good? Anybody else still copying? All right, so now I'm just stepping things up a little bit, making it a little bit more complicated. So they're telling us BD is 20 units long. We need to remember in a kite, the long diagonal bisects the short diagonal. But does the short diagonal bisect the long one? No, it does not. But are there still right angles in the middle? Are the diagonals perpendicular? Absolutely. So what am I going to do to find the short diagonal? Mia. You got it. We use a 30, 60, 90 triangle. Opposite the 30 is x. Opposite the 60 is x root 3. Opposite the 90 is 2x. If I'm going too fast, tell me to slow down. If you don't understand where I got something, ask me. What is going to be my equation to solve for x? 2x equals 16. So x will equal 8. So what does that mean? A to the right angle is 8, and the right angle to C is also 8. We want to find the area. Area equals half D1 D2 times D2. So do we all agree AC diagonal is not 8, it's 16? And then a lot of people go and say, okay, well then this is 8 root 3. From D to the right angle is 8 root 3. That's fine. Does that matter to us? No, because I care about the full diagonal. And in the given information, what did I tell you about the full diagonal? It was 20. So that means this D2 is 20. I don't care about the 8 root 3 at all. So I'm going to take half of 20 is 10. And then 10 times 16 is 160 units squared. Anybody still copying? The area of a kite is 20. The longer diagonal is 8. Find the shorter diagonal. So I see this. I see area and I see kite written together. So immediately, what should I write down? The formula for area of a kite. Area equals half D1 times D2. But now they're saying the area is 20. So where am I putting that 20 instead of which variable? A instead of A. So now we have 20 is equal to half. They said the longer diagonal is 8. So D1 I'm going to say is 8. Do I know what D2 is? No. What can I put for it? X. So I'm going to multiply. Half of 8 is 4. So now we have 20 is equal to 4x, which means x is equal to 5. All right, 2 more problems. Yes. We're going to do it now. Are you ready? All right, are we all ready? So Maya had a great question. She said, for the rhombus, is there any time you'll use the base height formula? Absolutely. I won't tell you which formula to use. You're going to have to figure it out based on the information I give you. So let's go to number 4. Find the area of a rhombus with a perimeter of 40 and one angle of 60. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw a rhombus. And do we remember that in a rhombus all sides are congruent?
Yeah.
So if the perimeter is 40, each side has to be 10. And then they said one angle is 60. Very strategically, I want to put that 60 someplace. Where do you think I'm going to put that 60 to be strategic?
The bigger angle.
Where? We're top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right. Where are we putting? Good. Top left and bottom right. No, not the bigger angle. Those look like obtuse. I'm saying bottom left and top right. Why? Good. So it says find the area of a rhombus with a perimeter of 40 and an angle of 60 degrees. Now we have 2 areas. We have area equals base times height, or the area equals half D1 times D2. Do I have a base for this rhombus? Absolutely. Do I have a height? No. But because I have that 60-degree angle, what do you think I can do to get a height? Draw an altitude. And when I draw that altitude, because we can always draw an altitude, doesn't mean it's going to be helpful. But this specifically, when I draw an altitude, it is helpful because of the 60-degree angle, I get a 30, 60, 90 triangle. Now, did they give us any information about the diagonals? Because they didn't give us any information about the diagonals, I'm going to X that one and I'm going to use this one. Area equals base times height. Now we know opposite the 30 is x, opposite the 60 is x root 3, opposite the 90 is 2x. Our equation will be 2x equals 10, so x is equal to 5. What is the height? 5 root 3. So the area is equal to our base. What is our full base? What is it? 10. Good. Our full base is 10, and our height is 5 root 3. So our area is 50 root 3 units squared. All right, I'm going to star number 5 because I would absolutely expect a question like this. Not sure if it's on your quiz or on your test when we get there, but this will definitely show up again. It's a two-step process. It's not straightforward. Are we ready for this last problem? Minds opened, ears opened. We ready for this? Putting stars so we remember to study it. Okay. Given a rhombus with diagonals 18 and 24, find the area, then find the height. All right. So I'm going to draw a rhombus. And they're saying the diagonals are 18 and 24. Don't we know the diagonals bisect each other in a rhombus? So we're 9, 9, and then 12, 12. Do we agree? All right, the first thing they're saying is find the area. Based on the information they gave us, that the diagonals are 18 and 24, which formula should I use to find the area? The kite one, exactly. Area equals half d1 times d2. Are my diagonals 9 and 12? Are my diagonals 9 and 12? No. What are my diagonals? 18 and 24. We have half of 18 is 9. Did anybody multiply 9 and 24? Tell me what we get. 216 units squared. Thank you, Sam. All right, so it said find the area. But now they want us to find the height. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the other rhombus formula. Area equals base times height. We're obviously going to try to solve for height. If I'm trying to try to solve for height, what are the two variables I need numbers for? B and A. Don't I already have A because I just found it? So instead of A, I'm putting 216. That came from here. Okay, I also need a base. So now this goes back to our drawing, our diagram. We know there's right angles in the middle. This is a 3, 4, 5. This is a 3, 4, 5 times 3. So the hypotenuse is 15. Doesn't that mean all the sides are 15? What does that mean for the base? 15. So 216 equals 15 times the height. What are we going to do now? Divide by 15 on both sides. So we're going to get 216 over 15. Wait, 2 plus 1 is 3 plus 6 is 7. We could divide, it's going to be a decimal, but we can just simplify this. We can divide by 3, top and bottom. When we divide by 3, it's going to be 72 over 5 equals H. And I can't simplify anymore, so we just leave it at that. Yay. All right, you do have homework tonight. This is your homework listed right here.
Isn't it a homework for the days?
No, it's assessment free. So the homework free, assessment free just means assessment free today. Yes.
For that last question, can we leave it in a decimal?
Is it a repeating decimal?
No.
What does it end up becoming?
14.5.
Yes, if it's as long as it's not a repeating decimal, you can leave it as a decimal. If it is a repeating decimal, you are not allowed to leave it as a decimal. No, what that